Hello, everybody. My name is Anna Maria from The Happy Mean, and today we have an interview with Natalie McMaster, which is a female musician in Canada.
Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Very Canadian, right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially your music is it's characterized for the Canadian background.
Yep, it's Canadian because my family has been here for 3 generations, 4 I don't know how many generations, maybe 5.
Yeah.
But our ancestry goes back to Scotland, both on my mom's side and my dad's side.
Yeah.
And the music actually was mid-1700s. Mid-1700s, the settlers came over from Scotland during might have been the potato famine, the Highland clearances. It's called the Highland clearances. And people were forced off their land. They were, forced to leave. And so they came over to Nova Scotia, which translates as New Scotland. Nova Scotia means New Scotland. Many of them settled in Cape Breton, all my ancestors, and they brought fiddles over from Scotland. So this whole culture of fiddle music and the dancing and the Gaelic language all stems from that journey.
Okay.
And it kind of took root in Cape Breton, and I'm the recipient of that.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Do you speak Gaelic?
Very little. I would say Beckett. That means little bit.
Okay, nice.
I more actually, through my enjoyment of the Gaelic, I think it's a really cool language.
Yeah.
The kids will have some songs. They have some Gaelic songs they sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sing it. They sing in Gaelic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
nice. Is that part of your normal show? Do you have the kids usually in your shows?
We have every kind of a show going on that you can imagine, from all kids to no kids and everything in between.
Okay.
We do symphony shows, we do square dances, we do Natalie Master shows, Donnell shows. Yeah, like we have trio versions, we have, it's just everything. It's all it's kind of confusing actually.
Yeah.
Every time we go to a show, it's like, who's on this one? What tickets do we have? Plane tickets do we have? Like, who's going? It's kind of messy in that regard. But also, it's a blessing because you have so many varieties of gigs you can take.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, you never get
We
bored.
have a gig that suits every function.
Yeah, that's right.
We have a conglomeration. That,
you don't get bored of if you're not playing the same thing all the time.
Exactly.
Your new stuff, what's the album called?
Canvas.
Yeah. Okay. Because I keep always clicking the caramel.
I know you do.
Love it.
I think you told me that. That's his
my
track.
favorite. Yeah.
Oh, looking pretty good there, Donnell.
Nice. Coming here.
He'll come.
For a game, they play music when you want to express yourself. It's people want to get away, you turn music on. You want to set the mood for a romantic dinner, you put music on.
Right.
You know, music seems to be the unbiased, non-political. You just get away. And I think of a story.
You get away.
You get it. So I think that has been the therapy. One of the therapies. One of the beautiful things about music is we're all the same when we listen to music. You check everything at the door and you just listen to music. Natalie has a very powerful story about how music affected an individual who had decided he didn't want to live anymore. Mm-hmm. And maybe you could share that.
Yeah, it was in Chicken Soup for the Canadian Soul. They published it.
Yeah.
And I asked him if we could publish his letter. So I received a letter years ago from a man telling me all about how him and his wife decided to go to Nova Scotia. They decided like the year prior, and it was during the tall ships, when the tall ships came to Nova Scotia. And I happened to be playing there at the function when the tall ships docked, and they had a big stage out there, and they had a bunch of different musicians play, and he was there with his wife, and I signed 8x10. He got an 8x10 picture. But the story prior to that was he's telling me in this letter after he saw that concert, he said, you know, we had planned this trip for a year, my wife and I, and he said, I've struggled for years with depression, and he said I was having an awful hard time just months before we were supposed to go, and I was going to commit suicide, and he said, I thought I just felt like, you know, I'll just make this trip with my wife. And I mean, I don't know how all that works. It sounds so extreme to hear these words, but this is somebody telling me this is their experience.
That was their thought. Yeah. They were considering.
Yeah.
That was it.
And so he decides to do this last trip with his wife.
Wow.
He received something so grand from that concert that when he got the picked photo signed, I happened to write, "Thanks for being here." I didn't know anything. I didn't never met him before. His name was William. Dear William, thanks for being here. Natalie Master. And it affected him so profoundly, the music and the note. He went home and he took up his flute again. He had been a flutist years ago, and he lost his desire for music, and he rediscovered it. And that was probably 30 years ago, and he's gone to 65 of my shows since.
Oh, what?
Yep. His name's William, and now he's probably in his 80s.
Have you played with him?
Never played with him, no.
But we'd be backstage, or I guess this was before I came along a lot of the time. Natalie would get flowers delivered when she was in a certain area in the States.
Okay.
And he'd always say, "You're my angel." That's what he said in the thing. You will always be my angel.
Wow.
So that's his perspective, and I look at that and I think to myself, for me, that is, I see music very much as godly. Mm-hmm. I mean, there can be all sorts of extremes of godly things, but, you know, for most music, certain types of music, I see it as kind of like the unspoken language of goodness and love, and I think that he had a moment where God kind of intervened or opened there was a channel flowing, and it just happened to be that moment with that music at that time, and all things connected, and I think God allowed him to see something beautiful to inspire his mind for other things than death.
Yeah.
I think
that is a beautiful story.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
That is.
Yeah. It's powerful stuff.
And how many other stories maybe you haven't heard?
Totally.
How many people has your music affected?
And I have heard a lot. I have heard there's other stories too that are really desperate stories. People whose spouses have died and who lost their children, all sorts of things, and the music helps them through that. And when you talk about mental health, I don't know, were you saying any more about that? In music, mental health?
No.
I was going to say that the other thing, I mean, music is obviously can put you on a high, right? But aside from that, it's also, I never refer to it as work, but it is my work project. It's my outlet. And I think whether it be music or anything that inspires you and you put your work effort towards it, and it consumes the mind, and it is rewarding and fulfilling, and it helps you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you feel like I've accomplished something.
Yeah.
This was hard to do, and I worked through it, and I achieved whatever, and you feel the gratification of that. And mentally, I think that's what we need in life. Donnell has a friend who jokes about just get out and work, you know, and whether it's physical labor or making music or whatever it is, applying yourself to something always gives back.
Yes.
Right? And that's definitely, music is twofold in that way. It not only gives back from being, accomplishing something, but also playing music is in itself a giving when you feel it.
We've been lucky to travel around, and some of the most powerful experience. People will say, "What was the best place you've ever been?" or "What was the best?" And some of the most powerful places I've been to Indigenous communities, and in Métis in particular. We have a very good friend up in northern Manitoba, Arnold Asham, who's Métis, and really pushes or works for the culture in the communities, in the northern communities. And so through Arnold and through other exposure, we've met and performed and been with the Indigenous people. And we had an opportunity to gift some violins, some fiddles to a community, and unbelievable the result of that from their perspective. We gave some instruments
Violins
for them to play
and they started a program in the high school, in elementary school, high
amazing.
school, and we've kept in touch a little bit. And the program, not because of us, I'm just saying that they just had an opportunity and they loved it, and it's in their DNA. The Métis traditions is fiddle, 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 fiddle.
Oh, really?
And in
Saskatoon,
they installed the first Indigenous police chief, and he requested to have the kids play
fiddle.
That group play at his installation, if that's the correct word, and that the confidence and the people need a reason to be confident. You want to be proud. You want to be being proud and being confident is such a what's my word? Such an important thing, I think.
Oh my goodness, absolutely.
For your mental health. Yeah. To be confident in your own thoughts.
Yeah.
That you can do something, you have something to offer, and everybody does.
Everybody has
something
Absolutely.
to offer. I can't even tell you. Even those old folks we played for today, at the end of we played for some seniors, and I was looking at them, and you don't know this, but Father Joseph Devereaux said the other day in a speech, he said, "You want to do something good for yourself? Go talk to someone with wisdom."
Yes, he said
just
that
look for
wayside.
He said, look for somebody with white hair. Look for someone with white hair and sit down with them and get some wisdom. So today when I was finishing up with those seniors, I mean, they're all sitting there. Our point is that everybody has something to offer. I was honestly moved to play for them because I was thinking of his remarks. I was look at all the white hair. I thought, look.
I'm a lot wiser than both of you.
Anyway, well,
I'm getting
I've got mine comes
white.
from a box. Anyway, but like the even age has something to offer. I hope all those seniors. I said this is great wisdom before us, and I hope all those seniors feel that as old as they are, they still have something to offer.
It's funny.
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That they need to offer something. My grandma actually helped with a lot of the beginnings and the continuings of the Happy Mean. She does stuff. I needed her to do something. She moved here. My grandpa died, and we needed her to keep. She was here during the winter. So she did a lot of the things that I would end up selling.
That's just awesome.
But the point being, we need to do. Everybody needs to do something.
I was thinking today, actually, after we left there, I was thinking that anybody with a kid, with a child, should be going to a senior's residence and walking in and saying, just walking around and expose your child to the the gift that you'll give them, that the child will get back. My father passed away 7 years ago, and it's funny, we were sitting here a few Christmases ago thinking, I want an elderly person sitting around our fire just telling stories of anything, right?
It's
My dad,
amazing,
and so and we were thinking, who can we invite over? Who can we want that for our kids.
Yeah.
And we've since met some awfully wonderful people that we're very happy to have in our lives. And it's just such a wonderful thing for kids.
Yeah, to have.
We play, when we travel, we Frank?
No.
You can't come in here.
Sorry, buddy.
When we travel, we sometimes do a little extra playing at seniors' homes and hospitals and things. And people thank us. And it's like, you're welcome, but to have our kids come and do this and see it and experience it and give is way bigger
for them,
for my kids, than for the others. Yeah. So and I'm wondering, am I being selfish? But it's a two-way street, you know. Yeah.
That's what happens, I think, with charity and like generosity. It finds itself to reward you back.
Sure.
Right.
You can't escape it.
Right.
It has to come back. Part of it.
By the way, I remembered that question.
Oh yeah.
Do we practice together?
Oh yes.
Do you remember
practice together? And you said
it was a good question. You wanted to answer it.
Most of my practicing forever has been by myself. That's what you need to. That's what you need to practice, and then you practice together to learn things. You know, I think sports often, a lot of parallels in sports, right?
Down to music, yeah.
Sure, in practice, in discipline, in competing, and being prepared, and all these things. But you think of it in pick a sport. I guess hockey is our sport around here. You know, you have to have the individual skill. You have to know how to skate and shoot, and all that has to happen.
Yeah.
You know, then you can work as a team.
True.
So in my case, I need to keep my chops up, my skills up, and then we can practice together.
Yeah.
Do you each have your own corner of the house? Or like
we have many corners that we can hide to. There's actually a studio in there.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, we converted above our garage to a studio. So
nice.
That's a great music space. It's called the music room. And but there's other spots in the house too that we go to, and we don't often have the luxury of being able to practice during the same time period of the day, because if we're both doing that, then sometimes the little ones need to be attended to, you know, the smaller kids, or if the older ones are gone. So it's usually
just throw them another piece of toast.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. Okay, go.
Please go, Frank.
Oh, he misses you already.
He's Donnell's dog.
Yeah. You have dogs, you have puppies soon?
Oh my gosh. We've got bunny rabbits, we've got laying chickens, laying hens, horses, cows. It's insane. And I didn't grow up with one animal.
You didn't?
No. And I don't actually, I'm not animal friendly. Like I
so
I won't pet him at all. He's cranky.
You don't pick?
I don't pet him at all. He's cranky. I used to.
What about the
But
other
now he gets mad at me if I pet him.
Oh.
He goes, rah.
My
own dog. And the other dog, I'll pet the other dog.
On the deck.
He's not cranky. She.
And
the animals, I like to see them from afar. The horses, you were saying when you drive in, like I'm like, yep. To me, they're like a planted nice maple tree, right? It's like landscaping. It's like
beautiful.
There's the horses over there, and that's great landscaping.
Keep them there.
Yeah, but the kids love them and they ride them, and I love that they love them.
Do you not? You don't ride them?
Oh, no. I have video of you.
I'm really pathetic.
Doing something resembling riding.
No, I don't go near the animals too much. I don't even collect the eggs.
Not even the eggs.
No, but I always tell my kids, think of how much I love you. I don't even want these things, and they're all around me because I love you guys enough to put, like, they don't see it like that. They're like, Mom, how could you?
Go get me some eggs.
Yeah.
There's many funny stories about Natalie and farming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Many funny stories. I should write a book. I should write a book.
Speaking of books, Do
That's
you
right.
have a book coming? I hear?
Yes, 2024.
You can
Spring.
bring it on 2025.
Mine's going to be called Living with Her.
And
I won't even say Natalie, I'll say her.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice.
Oh my
Well, tell them about your book.
Anyway, it's called I Have a Love Story. And the motivation of it was, and I'm not even exactly sure, I mean, I've written, it's probably half written. My deadline is December. I have to finish it by then, so I've got time. But the motivation was literally, and this is before the pandemic, it was 5 years ago when I thought about doing this. Donnell was telling me about, I never read the news, ever. I still really don't very much. But Donnell is always a news guy. He gets his feed, and so he would always tell me things. It was always bad.
Yes,
Bad
never
news.
good.
Bad news.
That's why we
Really
don't look
bad
at them.
news.
It's better to stay. That's
Disgusting.
also why I started this, to have something else to talk about.
Yeah.
Because COVID, everybody was starting to talk about news, and it was kind of impossible to miss the news.
Yes. And then I was driving somewhere. I was by myself, which 5 years ago was very rare, like to drive by myself.
Right.
Because
you had 7 kids.
Yeah, and they were younger then, and I
Yeah.
had like the infant baby, like Maria would have just been born. So I don't know how, maybe I was expecting her. I don't know what point it was, but however I got out of the house by myself. So I had time to think. My mom called me and she started telling me about all this bad news in Cape Breton. Like about people I know, you know. Like one girl died of a drug overdose in Cape Breton. I'm like, I knew this girl. I'm like, what? Like you just never think that this would happen. And a few things. And I was just filled with these negativity and thinking of the future of my kids, and through those feelings I'm like, I don't want to wallow in this sadness.
Right.
And I was trying to think of like my kids' future, and I'm like, oh, wait, now I got to shift this around in my mind. And I started thinking of how much I love my kids, how much I'm grateful for our existence here on our farm, and one thing led to another, and I came with this discovery that, oh my gosh, I have a love story.
You
like,
do have a love
when I
story.
think of my childhood, you'd watch movies about love stories. But I just, kind of my life flashed before my eyes. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm in a movie. Like, it's my love story.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking of every single interview I've done since I've been married, since I've had kids, since I've been a mom. Every single interview, at some point, they talk about the kids. Or like, what's it like being, how do you balance mother and career? Like, it's the curiosity of everyone when they're doing an interview. And so I thought, there's such a curiosity for this, and this is the goodness of marriage and children, which isn't often talked about. Mm-hmm. I just felt like I need to get the love story out. I need to put in the world positive, beautiful things from, you don't have to fly to the moon to do it, like just from basic things, just from marriage and children.
You don't have to go down the Titanic.
No, you don't feel the Titanic. God bless them.
To do yeah.
But,
you can find happiness right where you are.
Totally.
Yes.
That's right. And that if you're rooted in love, and it's just an encouragement to discover love and to try to become a better lover. Our whole lives, really, I think the purpose we're here on earth is to learn about love. Like, it's so hard to define. It's so broad. It's so ever evolving. And depending on your different circumstances in life, you learn about the joys and heartaches of love, you know? And through learning about those, like through experiencing all that, you define more what it means to love. Yeah. Because people can say it all they want. Be a loving mother. Well, how? This kid just did the same thing 10 times in a row. He's not listening to me. Well, how do I love that child? Right? You have to figure it out. Yeah. So it's kind of like acknowledging love in my life and how it's formed me, and telling some sweet stories about how Donnell and I met, and stories about my parents, and stories about our kids, and the birth of Sadie, and all those things. We're learning life lessons, learning about unconditional love and all those things, and then just encouraging people to just to become better lovers in this world, because the fruit of it is so eternal, really.
Yeah. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful book, Natalie. I look
Anyway,
forward
I
to
don't
that.
know. I'm not a
This
writer.
is well,
And there's been so many times where I thought this is ridiculous. I shouldn't be doing this.
oh
But
no,
I think that's
think
just
that's a great. That's exactly.
negative thoughts that
Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to. Donnell has said to me, and I
You're
trust his
not gonna
opinion every
listen
time
to
he
this.
says, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then when I'm reading something, oh my gosh, and it's, watery.
Well, because it's so personal, right?
So
It's going to
personal,
have all the little.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's so nice to. It'll be nice for you to have. To remember,
That's true, too.
right? If you write them all down.
That's right. That's
then
a good point.
I always think if I do a lot of little scrapbooks and keep all the little tickets just in case I have dementia, and then I can go back to and look at things. My grandpa had dementia, so I'm ready. I'm prepared.
Wow.
So this book can be look at it like that, and if you're doing it for maybe for you to keep a memory of or to see the love in your life.
Yeah, that's right. It's gonna be lots of pictures in it.
Oh, nice.
So that's a memory provoker too, right?
Yeah. Yes.
With each of the chapters, what they're pertaining to, I have pictures that kind of correspond.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And do you do you do a lot in Peterborough, or you don't?
Do I do what?
Do you do a lot of playing in Peterborough?
Not much. No. See, just the way the industry works.
Yeah.
You really, generally speaking, when you play a place, you don't come back there till 18 months later. That's kind of the way it works. It's not like that right across the board, because there's all sorts of different types of functions. But generally speaking, the types of shows we play, they're usually, the nice theater or a bigger play. This will be, there'll be a few thousand people at that. It's Canada Day. It's a free concert, right?
Yeah.
So we won't play in Peterborough. So as a result, we don't play here. We play here every couple of years.
Yeah. Nice.
Like even the Christmas shows.
A lot of places to get to too. Yeah.
And the Christmas shows that we've done, we come every 2 years to do a Christmas show.
Nice.
So.
Yeah. But you have sometimes some events here too that you have with family.
Square dance. They're not performances.
No. You guys complement each other.
Yes.
Thank you for joining this small community of the Happy Mean.
Thank you, Maria.
Hopefully, girls. And for sharing your experience. I think the more we share, I think there's a lot to learn, and there's so many people in the world.
That's right.
And everybody's living in a different way, and slowly it's uncovering ways to take care.
That's right.
And you're sharing your way.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is amazing.
We all have I always say there's more than one way to skin the cat, that old expression, right? There's so many different ways to find your balance in life.
It's a really gross expression.
It is, isn't it? After it came out of me, I'm like, couldn't I pick another thing? See, all these terms are so from like,
I'll start using
so
it more often.
More than one way to skin the cat. Have you never heard that?
No.
Oh my gosh.
No,
well,
but I love sayings like this.
Okay.
Anna always has sayings. There's a lot of people. Yes. Siobhan Doyle gives me some sayings sometimes. Oh my gosh. And I try to remember, but I can't.
Well, what would I say then? What's a better way to put that? There's more than one way to what?
Skin the cat is perfect. Skin the bunny. There's more than one ways to do things, for sure. And everybody has a way.
We're saying goodbye to Nell.
Yeah, come say goodbye. Come check you guys out at the Del Crary Park.
July 1st at 8 o'clock, I think.
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Very exciting with fireworks and
that's right.
And come for a Zumba class at 11 a.m. that same morning.
Wow.
Just around there.
All right.
We'll have a little Zumba class there too. All right. Anything else you want to bring in? Say.
The dog walks in.
Yeah. And you guys, you have your music on Spotify as well. If people want to listen to
Apple iTunes.
Buy your CDs. Do you still sell CDs?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, you can get them better out of our website.
Still buy CDs.
NatalieMcMaster.com or NatalieandDonnell.com.
Records.
Yep.
T-shirts.
Yep.
Yeah.
T-shirts. Yeah, we have some merch there too.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Thank you for watching and see you soon.